I heard God say, don't leave.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't leave. And I'm still married today.
Got clutter piling up? FM Junket in Carson, Iowa is your hometown cleanup crew. Fast hauling, fair prices, and now easy dumpster rentals for DIY cleanouts. Your single items to full-on messes, FM Junket gets it done. Call today and breathe a little easier. Good morning. Welcome again to Still Serving Iowa Veterans. I'm Carlene Hall, and I am here at Horse's Help. We got a lot of help from this one right now in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And I'm here with Scott. Scott has just gone through an EGALA horse therapy session with this beautiful draft horse right here. And Scott is a veteran, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, Scott. First of all, thank you for allowing me to come into this session. And as Jen said, it's not really therapy; it's wellness, right?
Right.
So, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, where you live, what you're here in Council Bluffs, and we met at church.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and you are you're retired?
I'm a retired from the military, from the Iowa Army National Guard. Did 20 years in the 34th Infantry Division.
Yeah. 20 years.
20 years.
Wow. Scott, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's a long that's a long commitment.
It was, but it was a good commitment.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and you went through deployments?
We deployed to Afghanistan in 2004, 2005. So the company that I was with, we were in 3 different provinces: Gardez, Ghazni, and Sharon. So,
wow. Okay. A lot going on.
a lot going on.
A lot going on. Yeah. Well, thank you again for being there and for doing what you do. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. So how did you? I know Jen goes to our church too.
Yep.
So is that how you kind of got connected here?
That's how I met Jen, and when she heard I was a veteran, she kept telling me, "Well, I got this horse wellness you could do. I just need she used to call it your 214."
Yeah, yes, she does say GD214.
And I was, listen, you need to tell him it's a 214. But and for a long time I was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need that. But through my wife pushing me, telling me, you should probably go out, it'd be good for you, I started coming out. And
cool.
Yeah, my mom was a psychiatric nurse for 35 years.
Wow.
I know there's issues I have, and I used to joke with Jen that the issues I have are what make me who I am. I don't want to deal with them.
Right, but you have people you love in your life that you want to be your best for.
Yeah. So, I mean, a little bit about myself. You asked that question. A Christian husband and father. I've been married for 32 years, or 33 years. I'm sorry, to my wife Molly.
Okay.
And 4 kids. So,
wow. Congratulations.
Through all that, I've done 20 years in the National Guard. I worked at one company for 32 years, and now I'm currently in transitioning from being unemployed since September to possibly working at Iowa Western teaching.
Oh, great.
So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The get down and dirty.
Yeah, well, thank you for your transparency, and I have to say, kudos to Molly. I mean, she was there the whole time.
She was.
Took care of your children during deployment.
and for 15 years of my career, 10 years of my career, I was a over-the-road truck driver.
Oh my. Okay.
So I haven't done stuff that has been easy on a marriage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
between truck driving and the military, it's, but we always
hanging in there.
we always felt that our kids were more important than anything else in our life. And so we always made sure that, one, we were okay.
Yeah.
But two, that there was somebody there with them.
Yeah.
I would have gladly stayed home with them and watched them if she
Yeah.
would have had a job that, but
Right.
I ended up getting a job that made decent money, where she was able to stay home and just do, she did in-home daycare, and she was on the front lines with our kids.
Wow, that's nice. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, that's so when you're in the military and when you're separated from your family like that, it's not just the soldier, it's the whole family
It is.
that makes those sacrifices and makes those adjustments, and that's good. Sometimes, it can be really hard for a soldier who's been deployed for a period of time to transition back into their role in the family.
Yeah.
So being a truck driver and your family being accustomed to being there, being gone long periods of time, and that was probably made that not so.
Made it a little bit easier. There was a transition period. I mean, I remember when I came back, I didn't want to step on toes, like because it's one thing to be gone for 3-4 days and be home, but to be gone for a year and a half with the pre-mobilization and then deployment and post-mobilization, she had gotten systems in place that I wasn't part of.
Exactly. Yeah.
I joke with her because up until I deployed, I always said, no, we don't need a pool. No, we don't have we don't need a trampoline. I come home, we have a pool and a trampoline. I laugh about it, but you know what? The kids enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And I was just more worried about people coming to our house and getting hurt.
Oh, sure.
But the kids enjoyed them.
Always mitigating risk.
Yes. And, so coming back, I tried to just support her,
Right.
You tell me where you want me, where you need me.
Wow.
I'm not going to force my way in and say, no, this is the way we're doing it. You've got a system in place and it's different than what it was when I left. So now I need to come in and figure out where I fit back in.
That's such a huge lesson in communication for our viewers who are watching even. And you had a unique situation because your mom had been a psychiatric nurse. So, so all of these coping mechanisms and you had the tools in your toolbox that a lot of people don't have already. So you were in a unique position, but that doesn't mean that you don't have your own challenges and your own things to deal with. But communication
is key.
That is key. And you were able to talk to her about that and work it out together.
Yeah. At some point after the deployment, we had went to a marriage conference and it was about communicating for husbands and wives. And so for a long while after the deployment, like we would get mad at each other about things that were said.
Yeah.
And so we went to this this seminar. There you go. Thank you. And it was more like, when she says this, what do you hear? And that opened up our eyes to a lot of things. Like I would say something and she would get all mad. I was like, okay, what'd you just hear?
Yeah.
And she would tell me what she heard. I was like, that's not what I said. Not what I said at all. Not what I meant. Not what I said.
Isn't it funny how we can argue with somebody and both be saying the same thing?
Yeah.
But we want the other person to adopt our words.
We're saying the same thing just different ways. And so
funny.
It took us 6 months of doing that where we'd see the person get mad. What'd you hear?
There you go.
Or here's what I heard.
Yeah.
you know,
Or how do you feel
and
about what I said?
yeah, and
Yeah.
well, then we went into how do you feel about what I said and stuff, but
Yeah.
it took us a little while to do that, and that helped us tremendously, you know. Do we still argue? Yes, we still argue. And we get mad at each other, but we're working more and more, you know.
Yeah. That's
Anybody who
awesome.
gets married, if they think it's going to be easy, y'all need to y'all need to just sit back and get in for what I don't know.
It's
It's not easy.
two totally unique human beings coming together to become one.
It's
Yeah.
the hardest thing you're ever going to do in your life, but
It's the
it's
hardest thing I've ever
also
done.
the most rewarding thing you are ever going to do in your life,
Yeah.
next to having children.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love my wife dearly.
That's awesome. And it's a testament to having God in your life, right? Yeah. Thank you for being so open about that and for talking about it. I can see
um
the love swells up in you and spills out your eyes.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I wouldn't be married if it wasn't for God.
Exactly.
Shortly after, I mean, well, it was before deployment. There was at one point she had told me to get out. I was gone like 340 days that year working,
Wow.
and
Wow.
but I, just prayed, talked to God, and there's people out there who don't believe in Him, but I'm gonna tell you, driving down the semi down the road praying,
Yep.
I heard God say, "Don't leave.
Mm. Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't leave." And I'm still married today.
Thank God.
So I know it's off key from veterans, but
No, it isn't.
I'm sorry.
It's not off key from veterans at all. Not at all. It's right in alignment
So
with veterans who experience the very same thing that you're experiencing. And I love the fact that you're willing to come here and have this conversation so other people, you don't know who you're inspiring right now.
you never know who you're touching.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not an evangelist. I'm not somebody who's going to go get up and preach. I pray to God all the time, use my life however you see fit. And I feel the biggest way is He's going to use my life, or that people are going to see how I live, what I do, and who I am, and then ask questions.
Exactly. And your heart when you meet people, with your coworkers, you're able to share those things. So that's awesome. Well, I saw some amazing things happen in this arena today. Walk me through from when you walked in there. Did you just meet this horse today?
I just met this horse today. They've actually had me with different horses every time. This is my 4th appointment.
Okay.
And my mom was a psychiatric nurse. When I was younger, I went through a bout of depression, didn't really know what to expect from this. When I started doing this, was kind of just whatever, do I think it helps? Yeah, I think it helps. So walking in today, and every time it's been different, because every time it's been a different horse, and they react different to me. So I'm in some parts of my life, I'm really impatient and want to just go, instead of just standing there waiting for the horse to come to me. I always walk up to the horse and try to make a relationship with them, and pet them, whatever, scratch them. And so he was kind of, I don't know, standoffish today or whatever,
So a little distracted in the very beginning.
There were distracted. There was things going on outside. Jen and the horse lady were in there, and they, I can't remember her name, but Andrea in there, and he wanted to go over to them. Well, so I just, tried to come alongside him and, just be with him and be around him. Jen, they do different things every time. This time they had 4 cones in the thing, and they always ask me questions. Well, what are these? So
Oh, barriers or
whatever, like, so today I said, these are the 4 stages of my life,
Oh, okay. That was your idea.
yeah, that was my
Very cool.
idea.
Very cool.
And then they'll ask me, what's this horse's name,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and name them, because different things that they ask like that.
That's cool.
Um,
But between you and the horse, what I observed was, like you said, he was distracted. He was getting the feel, lay of the land with you in there, and he was assessing you.
yeah,
It's like a silent communication.
and it is.
Mhm.
And like, I don't understand the horse language, and that's why Andrea's in there, is
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because she'll explain something every once in a while, like, hey, he's doing this because,
Uh-huh.
and like, there towards the end, he kind of came up over me and put his head here, and she said, he's giving you a hug,
Yeah.
and it was kind of an emotional state. We were talking about some stressful things in my life, and I laugh because my dog does it every night.
Yeah.
He's a rescue dog, and he comes to bed at night, and he'll come in and lay across my chest
Mm.
and lay his head like right here and lay down.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
he's like a 75-pound boxer, so it's like,
Oh, that's wonderful. But they're intuitive
animals are.
yeah, and they are comforting you.
Yes.
I have cats that do that. If I'm upset, my kitty gets right up here and lays his head on me and just purrs just as loud as he can possibly purr. And pets are that way.
Yeah.
They say people who have pets live longer too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had pets growing up.
yeah.
Dogs. I never had any cats, but we had dogs. We had pigs. We had 1 or 2 cows. We had horses, and
Yeah.
I love having animals. I love being able to sit there with him. We go for walks every day, and
Yeah.
we have a good time.
Well, now what you're doing here, and okay, I'll get to what I was going to say, but what I observed after that was you walking up to the horse and putting a halter on the horse.
Yep.
So that's like a step of taking control.
Yes.
But you're being very compassionate. The horse is cooperating with
Yep.
you, and it makes us stop and think as human beings about body language, unspoken, let's call it a vibe, whatever you're putting out there,
Yes.
it makes you stop and think about that. And that was really cool to see that. And then you began to lead the horse around the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he walked right with you.
Yep.
And the hug, yeah.
Sometimes he would stop, and I would have to come back to him, but for the most part, he walked with me.
Yeah. Yeah. So the hug came after all of that.
Yes.
So you and this horse got to know each other.
Kind of come together and bind.
Exactly. With no agenda.
Yeah.
You just are both in there. He's instinctive. You're becoming more vulnerable with him, and he's instinctive. And it's like all unspoken, like 2 different languages. He's a horse, you're a human. But the combination of that coming together it feels good.
It does.
It does. And it makes you, for me, it gives me a sense of accomplishment through vulnerability. And it reminds us, because I heard you say some things, if you don't mind me saying.
You can tell, yeah, you can.
I heard you say some things about hypervigilance, and that you didn't use that word, but you said you're like on the superhighway all the time.
Yeah.
And when you're not, that's when you're the most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that would be like a form of hypervigilance. And when you learn that vulnerability, that you can step into that vulnerability and you can be safe and you can be comfortable. And that's a 2,000-pound animal out there that you were safe with, completely vulnerable with a 2,000-pound animal. You were leading him around.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
It is.
That's huge.
Well, then growing up, we had horses, and I had been bit when I was a kid.
Oh.
But it was my own fault, I had put my hand next to his mouth and stuff, and it didn't bite hard, but it still, as a little kid,
They
scared the
can
living
take a
heck
chunk
out
of
of
your
me.
meat out, though.
Yeah, but I've always been, like Jen and Andrea always tell me that because I was always taught the flank area and the rear of a horse,
Uh-huh.
you don't approach those areas. You don't approach them
Okay.
from those areas. They're like, you can as long as you're talking to you, they know you're there.
Yeah.
We also didn't approach them from the right-hand side. For some reason, I was always taught you always approach a horse from the left-hand side. I don't know why I was taught
Yeah.
that, but that's
Yeah.
what, and so I was incorporating a lot of that. And they're like, oh, no, you can do this and this and this, which then also
Yeah.
had to open up some of, my control issue,
There you go.
you know,
Yeah.
and feel free doing that
Uh-huh.
and feeling
That's
free with
cool.
him coming, towards the end there. I was getting more comfortable with him opening his mouth and
Okay.
thinking, because I was really afraid he was going to bite me. And I'm like,
He's expressive with his
yeah,
lips.
he
He
is.
nibbles and
Yeah, he does.
yeah. Yeah, that's overcoming. So you're overcoming fears,
Yes.
overcoming feeling like you need to have control based on
What?
previous experience.
Yeah.
And I'm relating pretty deeply to what's going on here. This might have been as good for me as it was for you today.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I had no idea what I was getting into when I started doing it. And to some degree, like every time I come, I don't know what I'm going to get into.
Yeah.
It's each session has been different. Like I said, but it's different horses, but they all, and they react to me a little bit different. Each one just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Andrea and Jen said I'm actually really good with horses. They like to come around me, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah. You have a peaceful spirit, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, you do. You're comfortable to be around. Be comfortable for the horses to be around. No one would ever know that you're feeling that, like, so I love it that you're coming here, and I hope you just get more and more comfortable with that ease.
I do
That
too.
ease. Yeah. Yeah. I have to dig in and find some scriptures that talk about that,
Yeah.
and those particular scriptures that be still and know that I'm God is one I'm thinking of, and I'm sorry I can't call chapter and verse on it, but that one sticks with me a lot.
See, and like my favorite verse that I go to a lot in my life because it can cover so much is Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that keeps it in perspective.
Yeah.
It keeps it in perspective.
And when I was overseas, it was it was a psalm. It was about the soaring on eagle's wings. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would read that, once or twice.
When you're weak, he
Yeah.
gives you strength, and you would like mount up on eagle's wings.
Eagle's wings.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I wish I could call that exactly.
I'm not a great memorization person for Bible verses.
We'll have to make a commitment to go look these up to get that
Yeah.
exact scripture, because I always find I'll remember something that fits for me in the moment, and then I'll go back and look at the scripture again, and there's a whole other side of it, In the same way as we go through our lives, you read a passage or a story, or you take a Bible lesson at one time in your life, and then later in your life, it has so much more meaning, and I think that's why they call it the living word, because
I agree with you.
it's beautiful.
It's as relevant today as it was the day it was wrote.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got to share our faith a little bit with each other, and yeah, we'll have to have another conversation offline and talk about where you're going to go from here as far as what you do with the VA, and yeah. Really, really nice to have this conversation with you today, Scott. I'm so grateful that you let me come in this very intimate part of your life. Because truth of the matter is, we hadn't really met at church.
Nope.
We saw each other.
Yeah. that you play a bass guitar.
Yeah, kinda.
It kind of is pretty cool to me.
Kinda.
I love music, but I'm tone deaf,
Oh.
and so yeah, people run away when I sing.
Oh.
But
Oh gosh.
one of my favorite artists, Rich Mullins. I love something he said. He goes, "There's nothing better than walking into a church and hearing men sing out of tune to praise the Lord."
Amen.
He goes, I love nothing better than
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
so I always remember that. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to sing.
Yeah, that's again, that's that total vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I'm being really vulnerable getting up there with that bass guitar because I'm not really a bass player.
Oh,
I play a little bit of several stringed instruments, but my voice is my instrument. But I'm struggling through it. I don't know if you can tell, but
you're doing great.
But I'm struggling through it a little bit. I'm learning. I'm excited about what I'm learning, and yeah. So, but when I started going to church there, I was like, "There's no bass guitar. There's no bass. The bottom end's missing." And I was like, "Oh, I'll do it." You know. It's like,
Oh, see, I think with people leaving and stuff over the years,
Yeah.
like I think the bald head guy, um, that
Jeremy.
no, that plays the guitar. Yeah,
He's Scott too, right, Jeff?
maybe Jeff.
Okay.
I think he played bass for a little while.
Okay.
I don't know,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
not. Or even the guy that plays the drums, because he never used to be on the drums. They used to have.
Oh, Mark. Yeah.
Mark used to. I think Mark plays a bunch of different
He
instruments.
does, but Mark professes he is a guitar player
Yes.
first, and
Yes. I
so
think if they found a drummer, he would.
go out front.
He'd go
Yeah.
back out and
Yeah.
play guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That'd be
the dynamic changed when the
Uh-huh.
drummer left.
Yeah.
When Mark went back to the drums,
Yeah.
so the dynamic changed.
Right. And we're talking about Creekside Church
Great
in
church.
Council Bluffs. It really is. It's very comfortable. The minute I walked in the door, I felt like, okay, I had made a decision not to be involved with churches, not to be involved in religion. And the minute I walked in the door, I actually had a conversation, a business conversation with Christina
Mm-hmm.
and then Pastor Eric. And the first time I went, and then I went to church there because I was drawn. I was drawn by those two conversations. I went to church there, and once I was there, I felt like home, and I've been going since.
You're never going to be comfortable in that church. And I say that because he's going to challenge, Pastor Eric is going to challenge you there. He's going to make you feel uncomfortable in a way that is good.
It's a good thing because it makes you grow. It makes you think. It
Yes.
makes you.
And he says it all the time that I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to give you the word and root out what is not right in your life. You know,
It's not like it's a dictatorship.
no,
He sticks the truth right out in front of you, and you decide what to do with
that's
it.
right. And that's what I like. I don't need to come to church to be patted on my back and said, "Oh, you're a great person."
Yeah.
I need to go to church to hear,
grow,
to grow and hear what God wants from us.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And yeah. Obviously it's enhancing your life.
It
Yeah.
has.
Can't tell anybody else what to do in that way, but can certainly say this is what's working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I feel in some way, shape, or form, I felt God in my life growing up all my life. There was times when I put him on the back burner, when teenage years up until, because we're all rebellious and stupid at that point.
Oh, yeah.
But, he was always there.
Yeah.
And whether I wanted him to be or not.
He's tearing the stairs up.
But, so I.
Yeah. Yep. Completely understand. Well, thank you so much again for sitting down with me and for being so candid and
well, thank you for what you're doing to get this out there to veterans and other people. And for when you were working at the veterans office, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, 5 years. I've never really said I worked as a veteran service officer for 5 years as a civilian because I'm not a veteran, but filled my heart to be able to do that. So, and we have Still Serving Iowa Veterans podcast because Darlene was the director of Veterans Affairs in Potawatomi County for 28 years. She now is the chair of the the Iowa Commission of Veterans Affairs, and a lot of different organizations. So I have to get my verbiage right. But she and I both are very committed to serving veterans. Are you moving me away?
No.
Is that your guy? He says that's enough. So
He's a character.
we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much. Thank you.